You and I have unfinished business.
Baby, you ain't kidding.
I can't do it! I'm sorry, I can't do it! Gotcha.
Talk to me.
Have you ever looked up at the sky at night and thought to yourself, I wonder what the center of the universe looks like? You're allowed to be angry, you're allowed to be broken, you're allowed to lose your way, but don't forget to come back. Sometimes to find God, you have to let the devil in. What's going on, everyone? It's Enzo Unreal, and welcome back to another episode of an appreciation video, where I take the time to look at the favorite parts of the games I love. Today, we're going to be talking about Resident Evil 4 Remake. Previously, on Appreciating Resident Evil 4 Remake, we explored the game's background and design in the first video, and in the second video, we followed an in-depth look at its gameplay. Oh, bitch. Now in the final installment, I'll be sharing my final thoughts on what ties this whole game together, which is the story and its characters. Amidst the action and the scary-looking aesthetic lies a pretty solid main character to take you through it all, which is Leon Scott Kennedy. Leon is the symbol of a man who's been through trauma and has lived to tell his tale. He's someone who's a fighter, and even though he's overcame a lot, he knows his fight is still far from over. But I believe Leon can save the world.
Where's everyone going? Bingo?
I wouldn't be able to talk about why I appreciate this game without talking about how I connect with it first. Let's journey back to the year 2007. A young Enzo Unreal is just about to embark into the wildest ride of his life, middle school. He's scared but eager to see what puberty and adolescence has to offer him.
I'm having a party tomorrow night. All these fools are coming. Also, gonna be a kissing party.
Unfortunately, while I didn't get to kiss a lot of girls in school, life had other plans for me.
Studying them. You're so cute. Still don't tell anyone about this.
The reality of my adolescence was that I wasn't really allowed to go out much, but it's not like I was really invited out anyways. While I didn't have a lot of friends, I did have a lot of love for the friends I did have. Ever since I was a kid, I was always into dark stuff. I don't know why, but that was just my escapism. I guess because I knew the things I seen on TV were fake. But as a kid, I also knew that evil could exist.
That I nearly wiped out your team? That everyone liked me better than you? Stop it! Or is it that deep down inside you really believed I was your friend?
I was lucky enough to have a friend who was into the same things I was into. He had told me about this game called Resident Evil 4, and I knew a little bit about the franchise, but 10-year-old me never had a chance to play any of the games. He was kind enough to let me borrow his copy for the PS2 version. Truth be told, I was still a little terrified of what this game had to offer. I mean, you guys seen what kind of games I played at this age. Ignoring the fictional element of Resident Evil, the story behind it is why I connect with it. The plot takes place in a fictional village located in Europe. Players take control of Leon S. Kennedy, the protagonist from Resident Evil 2, now a former rookie cop turned US government agent. Leon's mission is to rescue the president's daughter, who's been abducted by a hostile cult. Set about 6 years after the events of Resident Evil 2 and 3, Resident Evil 4 introduces its own separate storyline. Like with most Resident Evil games, it's not really necessary to have played all the other games to understand this one. RE4 works as its own separate storyline, and there's only a few nods to the previous games. So if you're new around here, you won't have a hard time keeping up with the game. The beginning of the game starts with the eerie car ride through the woods. We see Leon as reflecting on his life choices.
It has to.
So tell me, Yankee, why did you come to this horrible place? As close to nowhere that I've ever seen.
Let's just say, looking for someone.
Accompanied by 2 police escorts, one of them stops to use the men's room, but mysteriously disappears. Leon gets out to investigate, only to discover that things are not what they seem to be.
Sorry to barge in like this. Busco a un policía. Vino aquí?
Journey with Leon, as he fights like hell to stay alive to finish his mission and rescue the president's daughter. The story revolves around Leon, but don't go into this game expecting a deep psychological experience. The only psychological experience you're going to get is probably anxiety and a little bit of dread. It's not a game that's meant for the story. It's a game that's meant for the experience it takes you through. What I admire about Resident Evil 4's story is Leon's ability to adapt to any situation thrown at him.
You kill unborn children. You have man-on-man relations. Same-sex marriage. How do you think your God will judge you? When there is no more room in hell, the dead will walk the earth.
I seen this movie at a young age, and who would have thought a zombie movie can teach me a life lesson? The undead are fictional beings who are deceased but still move as if they're alive. In most fiction, the undead must consume the living in order to stay alive, whether it be a vampire who sucks the life from you, or a zombie who causes you grief. I've learned that these type of monsters can exist in real life too. I traveled the world in the 7 seas. Everybody's looking for something. Some of them want to use you, and some of them want to get used by you. Okay, yes, I'm quoting the Eurythmics. But like with most music, there's resonance within the melody. Leon is one of my all-time favorite characters in video games. Despite still grappling with his demons from his past, literally and figuratively, Leon doesn't back down from the monsters that haunt him.
I do not stand by in the presence of evil.
He knows that evil is real, but he also knows that there's people worth fighting for. There's people that'll help make you laugh.
Then come, Sancho Panza. Let us rescue the Princess Dulcinea.
You're gonna hurt yourself.
Hey, that was my lance.
People that you need to protect.
We do.
Your father trusts me. And I need you to trust me too. And do exactly as I say. I'm gonna get you home safe.
Okay. Okay, Leon.
And people who have also seen the same horrors that you have. Leon's story is a reminder that even the strongest of us needs a little help from time to time. That's what these characters symbolize to me, but we'll talk about them in just a moment. The game's primary antagonist is Osmond Sadler, head of a cult known as Los Illuminados. Sadler is a disillusioned researcher. Instead of using his time productively, like, I don't know, trying to find a cure for cancer, he becomes the human equivalent of one. Sadler's research led him towards the excavation of a prehistoric parasite called Las Plagas. These parasites can mutate the human body and transform the host into grotesque creatures. Driven by his delusion, Sadler injects the master parasite into himself, gaining superhuman abilities. He then unleashes the parasites upon innocent villagers and begins taking control of their bodies. To take down Sadler and save the president's daughter, you'll have to go through several of his lead henchmen in a Kill Bill style fashion. First on your hit list is Vitores Mendez. I hope I said that right. He's the leader of the village you'll encounter when you first start the game. Careful not to get too close to him. Then there's Ramon Salazar, a sassy little man you'll encounter in the castle section of the game. During his boss battle, I highly recommend keeping a golden egg in your inventory. The golden egg deals massive damage to Salazar, which is going to save you a lot of ammo and time in the long run. Trust me, you won't regret it.
He's aggressive AF right now.
The final villain you'll face before confronting Sadler is Jack Krauser, a foe with a personal connection to Leon's past. Krauser taught Leon everything he knows, and he'll push your skills to the limit like no other enemy in the game.
You would have done well to accept this.
It's the right to say what we want.
Shut
when
the
you think about it.
During Leon's journey, you'll meet the president's daughter, Ashley Graham. Since she's a college student who was not prepared for any of this, she lacks the combat skills necessary to defend herself. Your mission is to protect her at all costs from any enemies who may try to abduct or harm her. Constantly protecting Ashley can be a bit frustrating at times, but I appreciate the revamp of her character in this game. Ashley in the 2005 game was a chore to take care of.
Where are you going, Leon? Where are you going, Leon? Where are you going, Leon? Where are you going, Leon?
But this time around, Ashley is actually pretty fun to work with. She goes with the flow, and she has a personality that makes you want to protect her. She can't fight back much, but she'll help out whenever she can.
I don't think they like the lantern fire.
Ashley is a strong, independent woman who doesn't need no man to catch her when she falls.
Damn. Shit. You okay?
Leon's journey also intersects with Louis Serra, a biologist recruited by Sadler to research the parasites. I thoroughly enjoyed his charming personality and his ability to maintain a cheerful outlook even in the most tense moments.
I hate insects! Take care of them for me, would ya? How about you open fire instead of your mouth? Hey, I'm the brains, you're the brawn.
Ada Wong makes a return from Resident Evil 2. She has her own agenda in play, but she'll occasionally team up with Leon throughout the story. Ada is more or less the anti-hero of this game. She doesn't really care about the greater good, but she does care about Leon. If you bought the Separate Ways DLC, you'll get the chance to play as Ada. Separate Ways is bonus content that adds more story and gameplay to the experience. Ada easily steals the spotlight with her distinctive arsenal and moveset.
Perfect. Oh my gosh, that one was perfect. Bobby's stupid ass. Get a little closer. Mealy. Bitch. Oh. Yeah, sir. Oh yeah, sir. Mealy his ass too, right? Mealy. Right where I want you.
The center of gravity is the point at which weight is evenly dispersed and all sides are in balance. If the universe is infinite, then life's center of gravity is constantly shifting, which must make life chaotic by nature. A human center of gravity is constantly changing, and our centers can even exist outside ourselves. When the center of the universe is shifting, we cling to the things that keep us grounded. But if we're not healed enough, we cling to the things that we need to let go.
Yeah, baby, she's got it. Well, I'm your Venus. What? I'm your fire.
The Resident Evil franchise is my center of gravity. Specifically, the original Resident Evil 4 was the one thing that could always keep me grounded. It's not a game that breaks my heart, and it's not a game that bores me either. It's a game that's full of excitement and full of adventure.
Ashley, upstairs. Okay, it's game time.
Resident Evil 4 Remake is a great game that surpasses expectations and one that can compare to the original game.
Okay, it's game time.
I think the game could have benefited from a spookier soundtrack, but the overall art style for the game is terrifyingly pleasing. The gameplay builds upon the mechanics established in the previous remakes, and the combat is extremely satisfying to pull off. The characters are entertaining on screen, and no one ever feels like they overstay their welcome. I enjoyed everyone's interactions with each other, and I never felt bored during a cutscene. Resident Evil 4 birthed gaming's most iconic horror hero. Leon is the definition of a fighter, and someone who perseveres. A hero works hard to provide a better life for those around them. A hero knows that life can be challenging, but embraces that challenge anyways because happiness is worth fighting for. That's it for today, you guys. Once again, I'm Enzo Unreal. If you guys liked the video, then you already know what to do, and I'll see you guys next time.
You coming?
I think we both know this is where we go our separate ways.
I see.